cash flow this and cash flow that. Does even the sound of the words cash flow make your eyes glaze over? Well, it did for me, until I realized we were talking about the lifeblood of my business. Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. So, what is cash flow, and why does everyone think it's so important? Well, first, I'm going to start out by saying I am not an accountant, or a banker, or investment analyst, or anything close to any of those things. And the explanation I'm going to give you is the most basic of basic terms, because that's the way I wish someone had explained it to me when I started my business. So, here goes. Revenue is the money you make by selling something, a product or a service. Profit is basically what you have left over after you pay all your expenses. But cash flow is a picture in time. It tells you when you'll get the money and when you have to pay the expenses, and if one will happen sufficiently earlier than the other. A cash flow forecast is a report that takes a specific period of time, let's say a month, and gives you a peek into how much money is coming in your doors and how much is moving out in the form of expenses. It's the flow of your cash. Get it? So, for example, let's say that you have 3 clients and they each pay you $10,000 a month. So your revenue each month is $30,000. And let's also say you spend $20,000 a month on expenses. So that means, and remember this is a very basic layman's description, so please no comments from disgruntled business managers. That means your profit for the month is $10,000. Now, what if client A pays on the 10th of the month, and clients B and C pay on the 30th of the month? But you have to run a $10,000 payroll on the 10th and the 15th of the month. Well, with the $10,000 from client A on the 10th and absolutely no additional money coming in until the 30th, you're going to have trouble paying that payroll of the 15th of the month because you don't have enough money yet. And that is what a cash flow forecast can show you, because it's tied to both money and, even more importantly, time. When will you get the money? And when do you have to pay money out? And does the timing work out? Because you see, without some sort of cash flow forecast, you might just think, well, I take in $30,000 every month and my payroll is only $20,000 each month. So I'm golden, right? Well, not so golden, because you don't meet your expenses when they're due. And what if, heaven forbid, client A is late with their payment? You might even have trouble paying that payroll on the 10th. So, your cash flow forecast can help you see things like, ooh, I should hold on to some money from last month to cover my timing problem this month. And I need to hang on to some of my money this month at the end to cover some of my timing problem next month. Or better yet, you might even see other levers you can pull. Things like moving the client's due date. You see, there are lots of things that you can do when you can see what's coming. And that's why you absolutely need a cash flow forecast report. And I would say you need one every month. I live and die by my cash flow forecast. It lets me know when and how much financial wiggle room I'm going to have. Now, there are some specific things that go into a cash flow forecast. You can have your accountant set one up for you, or actually you can even do it yourself. Basically speaking, it's going to include a revenue section. This will show all your revenue from sales or services. An operating expenses section. These are expenses not directly tied to the production of goods or services. So things like rent, utilities, office supplies, legal costs, sales and marketing, payroll, insurance, and all those pesky expenses that naturally happen when you run a business. Now, a special call out here. Some cash flow forecasts break the sections down a bit differently. For instance, they may break out rent and utilities out into its own expense section, or put employee costs such as payroll and benefit costs under operating expenses, and then put the remaining operating expenses under something like other operating expenses. It's really all up to you and your accountant. And actually, I would say you matter the most in this equation, because if you don't easily understand your cash flow forecast and what it's trying to tell you, then it's not going to be of any value to you at all. And after all, that is the point, isn't it? And then finally, there's the summary line. It shows you totals for the period. So if you're doing a monthly cash flow forecast, the summary line will show you a monthly total. Your cash flow statement can help you predict shortfalls, show you where you may come into a surplus, and give you other vital information before it becomes a problem, like in our earlier example with the 3 clients. In fact, if I were looking at that scenario, I think one of the first things I would do would be to change both the payment due dates for the clients and the payroll date for the employees. That would make the flow of cash a lot more comfortable and help me ensure that I'm meeting my financial obligations. Basically, you want to be sure that you're cash flow positive, meaning you have more money coming in than going out. And believe me, that's a place you want to be. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe and share. And if you're struggling with how to get your business off the ground and what comes next, check out the Leader's Journey Business Builder. I designed this completely free video series to help you with figuring out who your customer is and where to find her, how to sell without selling, how to package and deliver your service, and much more. Check it out by using the link leadersjourneyexperience.com. And remember, your inspired leadership is the secret sauce to having a high-performance team and a wildly successful business you'll love. I'll see you next time on Leader's Journey.